Hi, my name is Paul. Um, as you can notice, you hear me talking to you, and it is so nice. This has been the first time in days that the radio hasn't been running constantly 24/7 all the time. And it's one particular music station in which I swear to God, they have like 30 songs in rotation, and that's all they have. And they play the same goddamn songs over and over and over. It's like it's a 3 hour rotation. They got enough songs that if you listen, I guess they figure you only listen to them for 3 hours and then you quit and go somewhere else. Because after a while, it's like, I guess, like working in a store where they only have like 16 songs on music because they figure customers ain't gonna stay in the store that long. They'll never notice that the same songs are playing over and over and over. But if you work in that store, eventually you start to consider picking up a rifle and going postal. I mean, it is so nice to have it be silent for a while. I asked one of the aides if they could turn down the guy's radio when he was in the bathroom, because it just got to the point. I mean, he's running it loud enough that I can hear it over here. Of course, it isn't that far away, but still, it was fairly good sized loud, about as loud as I'm talking right now. And he's 20 25 feet away on the other side of this room, and so it's all day, 24/7. That's the same, whatever number it is, 60 songs, 100 songs, 30, whatever number. The same songs on a loop, it seems. That they pick these songs, those are the ones they're going to rotate, and that's all they run. All the time. And I mean, yesterday, we get breakfast around, it depends on when they get around to feeding us, but it can be as late as 10 o'clock. And I woke up real early. A lot of times they bring me pills like at 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. So I was probably up for 4 hours, and the radio is on, and I'm listening to the songs, and I've gotten used to them. But the point was, there was at least one song that even I recognized, that between the time I woke up and the time they served breakfast, they had run that song at least twice. That particular time, I don't remember which one it was, because again, let's say they have enough songs to run for 3 hours without repeating any, okay? Average song length is what, 3-4 minutes maybe. Some are shorter, some might be a little bit longer, but let's call it 3 minutes on average, okay? So you figure 3 minutes, 10 songs will take half an hour, 20 songs will take an hour, 20, 40, 60. So if they got 80 songs, that's 4 hours. So if they got 80 songs in rotation, you're not going to notice them right away. But eventually you will notice when you start to hear the same songs over and over and over. If they got 3 hours worth of songs, that's about 60 songs probably. Maybe a little more, maybe a little less. That, especially if it is less, that you are soon going to notice when they keep repeating them over and over and over until it's a soul destroying noise, and you start to think, where is, you start to think something like, well, gee, can I pile up a large quantity of sleeping pills? It just gets to be annoying. And it's like, I'm thinking, it would be so nice to have some silence for a change. I mean, I got headphones. I wear them basically all the time. One of the reasons I used to wear them was down the hall, one of the patients we had, she was I don't want to use the C word, but she was mentally ill. Not that C word, the word crazy. I don't want to say she's crazy, but she was mentally ill. And so all hours of the day she'd be screaming out for whatever she wanted. I'm not sure exactly. Then she died, so we got another one. And this one, I think she was primarily Spanish or Mexican or South American or something, because all the time, I guess she had some kind of medical condition, because she kept complaining for water. But she didn't keep screaming out water, she kept screaming agua, agua, just Spanish for water. That apparently, whatever her problem was, she kept being thirsty all the time. Whatever her medical condition was, it kept making her think she was thirsty. But she was already getting to enough water that she couldn't get any more. She'd get, I guess, water intoxication or waterlogging or something. That she couldn't have any more. She could only have so much water, and that was it. Which does make sense. You have too much water, you drop, a lot of things go wrong. You drop the salt levels in your body, you drop the electrolytes in the body. Things get diluted. Too much water and you got problems. It's almost as bad as not enough water. But anyway, and it got to be annoying with this agua, agua. And I mean, it seems like people who have mental problems, people who are mentally ill, tend to do the same thing I do. They don't sleep on a regular schedule. They go to sleep when they're tired, they wake up when they're no longer tired, and that can be any time of the day or night. So they can start at 4 o'clock in the morning. They can be up until, one day they might be up until 2 or 3 before they fall asleep. The only time they ain't screaming is when they're eating or sleeping. And unfortunately, because we didn't do anything, when they eliminated the really nasty mental institutions of the 1950s and 60s and got rid of them because they were what they called snake pits. John Oliver did a whole segment about mental health. They got rid of the old mental institutions. They were supposed to replace them with community systems of community outreach, but they were never funded. So as a result, there's an old saying, nature abhors a vacuum. Well, those mental hospitals got eliminated, but just because you eliminate the mental hospitals doesn't mean you've gotten rid of the mentally ill. They're still there. Where it happened, they ended up in nursing homes like this. They ended up in jail, and so on and so forth. In fact, my understanding is that jails in the United States are the #1 provider of mental health services. Now that says a lot of things about our country, that we can't even do anything to solve the problem of the mentally ill, other than when they get into trouble, that all we can do is throw them into jails and warehouse them there. But anyway, so I'm just saying, it is so nice to be in a position in which that's all I hear. What you're hearing right there, that's what I'm hearing. Just silence. Silence. And it is so nice to have it. Not all the time, but it's nice to have it, reasonable amounts, especially when you're sleeping. But more than anything else, when I want to make videos and I don't want to have to worry about someone overhearing the background noise and filing a copyright strike against it, which is not going to happen. No one's going to. Well, I suppose if somebody thought they could get away with it, they would try to copyright silence, but in any event, it's just so nice to have some peace and quiet. That's all. Not all the time, and I listen to videos and listen to music sometimes myself. But it's just so nice that to have silence, you know, especially like now. It's about let's see, what does my clock say? Oh, it's 8 minutes to 7 in the morning. And that's another thing, we don't have a clock in here like we did in the other room. In fact, I'll probably have to show a video of that myself, of my new room. This is the permanent room I'm in, which is room 330B, instead of the previous video I did, which was room 240, I believe. Yeah, 240. And which is interesting was when they were getting ready to move me into the permanent room here, they had to have me in temporary rooms because they didn't have any space in the permanent residence area. So they had me originally in room 123. Then I got my leg chopped off, and then I was, since I was gone for a week, they had rented my bed to somebody else, so they couldn't put me back in room 123. So they moved me to room 240. I was in there on the second of month or two, and then they moved me to the room immediately above it on the third floor. And it's not room 340, it was room 315. Which, if you can figure out why, the exact same room, one floor above, it's a different number. But anyway, that's how they did. Then finally I'm here in room 330. And I'm in the second bed, so it's 330B. That's how it works. If I was in the first bed, it would be 330A. But anyway, so I guess this has been enough, and I'll stop it here. Presumably I can turn the camera off. My name is Paul. Thank you for watching. If I can just goddamn button, unless I can't push the fucking button unless my thumb pushes it. If my finger is not strong, my finger is not strong enough to push the button. That's why I have to keep turning the goddamn camera around to be able to take pictures of me. Hi, my name is Paul. And I've got the camera focus wrong. I've got to make it. No, that's going to be too high. Let's try that. Now it's still, yeah, I think that'll work. 3, 2. Hi, my name is Paul. As you can notice, you hear me talking